Hi, I'm Matteo Grima from the island of Malta. I'm 22 years old at the moment. I am currently studying architecture at the University of Malta, doing my master's in architecture and conservation. This is my first year at university. Hopefully I will be finishing off until next year in my second year of the master's. I'm also currently a professional football coach for the Maltese Premiership club Balzan FC, and 4 years ago I went through a major life-changing experience when I was jogging and run over by a vehicle. It was the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. I was still playing at that time. I was 18 years of age, and I wanted to keep myself active and train to keep the good momentum that I had gained that season up into an indefinite moment. We didn't know when we will return, and I wanted to be ready as much as possible to get back into action. It was a normal routine for myself to go do this jogging. On off days I used to always make sure to remain active, but on this day, on a usual route, I was going through Haddingly here in Malta, and I was run over by this vehicle, put straight into a 12-day coma at a Glasgow scale of 3, which is a very high scale. It's the highest scale of all. At coma, you are practically unresponsive, as if you are dead basically. And after waking up, it was a long and hectic path to come to where I am today. A lot of difficulties. I had to start learning to do all the basics over again. I had to start learning how to literally walk again. I remember to this day the first time that I managed to walk alone without any assistance. I was at hospital obviously, and I managed to walk to myself to the bathroom. It felt weird, but a sense of accomplishment. And I've always been this kind of person that always wanted to strive and push beyond my boundaries, and I believe that is why today I am where I am today. It was a difficult experience. I was in that time doing my first year in architecture here in Malta. Obviously that year I had to pause my studies, but I only paused them for, I would say, a couple of months, because after going out of hospital I went back into working full on, and I submitted everything, all the assignments, all the exams in the September session of that year, because the accident happened in April of 2020. And thanks to my persistence and all those that stood behind me, I managed to accomplish what, in my opinion, is to this day one of the biggest achievements that I did, achieving the diploma. Because even though it was just my first year, if I didn't manage to achieve that, I don't think that I would have come this far in my studies and all the achievements that came after that. Obviously my career as a footballer had to stop by that time. I couldn't play anymore. The risk was too high for my injuries that I suffered in my head, because to give a clear image, 1/3 of my skull had to be removed to allow enough space for the swelling of my brain. Then this part of the skull was put back. It was put back in September 2020, so after I submitted my assignments and exams. Then about a year passed, 2 years in fact, and some complications did arise in my skull. My skull that spent almost 6 months out of my body, which meant that it started to weaken out and shrink. And after these 2 years it had to be replaced again. It was a very difficult time this for me. It was replaced by a titanium plate, and nowadays it should be good, and I'm continuing to live practically a normal life, with the only exception that I had to obviously stop my football. But I went into coaching I'm currently studying with the Scottish Football Association. I'm doing my UEFA courses with them, with big ambitions, big dreams in the football scene, which continue to drive me forward in football, even though not as a player. But I realized that a door has closed and looked at the wider range, the bigger options that the sport can offer me, and I can say that I don't look back now, and I'm very happy to be where I am today. Of course, I suffered a lot from a mental and physical point of view. Physically, I had to learn, as I said, how to walk again. I had to gain strength both in my legs and my upper body. I had to find ways how to slowly but quickly at the same time start to get back into being active, because that's an important thing in this procedure, to not stop your body completely, especially from my point of view. I was always in this routine, in this athletic routine, and halting it completely was a very, very difficult time for me. I made sure, with all the precautions taken, start slowly after leaving hospital. I made sure to start getting my strength back with normal exercises. Remember, the gyms and everything was closed at that time because of the COVID pandemic, but slowly I kept on working until I went back to jogging, which was in about 2 months time, and thank God for that. Even though looking back it was a bit of a risk, because I was jogging already without 1/3 of my skull, but thank God for that, because with my hunger and determination I managed to fasten the recovery process to get back to a very good state from a physical point of view. Mentally, I always say that mentally I suffer the most. Mentally, I have learned how important our mental health is in this period. I suffered from a lot of decrease from a self-confidence point of view. I felt alone during this period, even though I wasn't alone. I had all my family supporting me, but I felt alone because it was a situation that obviously very few people can go through, and hence they couldn't understand what I was feeling. I literally spent about, I would say, a good 4 months not even capable of looking at myself in the mirror, because as I said, I spent about 6 months after the accident without 1/3 of my skull, so you just can imagine of how one would feel and looking at the mirror. But slowly, with the help of various professionals, including my neuropsychologist who did amazing work with me, I managed to get back that self-belief, realize that yes, I have gone through a lot, but I can pull off a miracle, and that's what I believe I have done with the help of God, because to be where I am today, it's definitely something that is not normal, but with the help of God, with the hard work that I put in, with all the people supporting me, I managed to achieve something that I will cherish forever, because it has given me the possibility to continue living practically a very normal life. The only exception is that I cannot play football anymore, at least from a competitive point of view, but yeah, I believe that the best is definitely yet to come.